All right, let's dive in, shall we? Imagine, picture this. A lavish party. You're on this magnificent white ship. The air is just buzzing, music, laughter. It's
Yes.
11:20, and you're surrounded by the who's who, the future of England, all these vibrant young nobles. They're all there to celebrate.
The real who's who.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
but get this night of revelry, it takes a dark turn. A night of unimaginable tragedy. The white ship, its precious cargo, the hopes of an entire nation. It's all swallowed up by the waves, gone. Just like that. The English Channel. It's unforgiving. And that's what we're diving into today, the white ship disaster.
It really is a story of, well, everything, isn't it? Power, ambition, that one event, that single event that can change the course of history.
Exactly.
And it's that reminder, isn't it? Even when you're celebrating, fate can have other plans.
Oh, absolutely. And for this one, it all starts with family, doesn't it always?
Seems like it.
So, okay, let's set the stage. 12th century England. It's a time when, well, power was won and lost on the battlefield. And right at the center of it all, William the Conqueror. You've probably heard of him, right?
Oh, yeah. History books and all that.
Exactly.
So William conquering England in 1066, that was a big moment. Huge. But it kind of set things up, for all the drama that came later. You see, William, he had 3 sons. And, well, let's just say sharing wasn't exactly their forte.
Oh, boy, here we go. Sibling rivalry.
Oh, yeah. Taken to a whole other level. You've got Robert Curthose,
Yeah.
the eldest, inherits Normandy.
Okay.
Then there's William Rufus, Dad's favorite. He becomes King of England.
Okay.
And then you've got Henry, kind of overlooked, in the whole inheritance thing. But each of these sons, they've got their own ambition, their own flaws, their own ideas of, how things should be run.
Sounds like a recipe for, well, conflict.
Yeah.
Right from the start.
Oh, absolutely. And that's exactly what happened. Years of this, power struggles, infighting, and Henry stuck right in the middle. But Henry, he was underestimated. A shrewd operator. He bided his time, played his cards right, and in the end, he outsmarted his brothers.
So how did he do it? Become King of England? I mean, what was his secret weapon?
Well, cunning, for sure. And a little bit of luck, to be honest. Robert and William Rufus, they weren't, how should I put this, the best rulers. Robert, impulsive. Military blunders, let's call him. William Rufus, unpopular. And, well, he died pretty young.
Oh.
Suspicious circumstances, some might say. But we won't go down that conspiracy theory road today.
Right.
So Henry, he sees his chance, and he takes it. By 1106, he's on the English throne, and after years of fighting, takes Normandy from his brother, Robert. This was huge. England, Normandy, together again. After all that division, it seemed like things were finally calming down.
And this is where the white ship comes in.
Unbelievable white ship. Oh, yeah.
So tell me about it.
Imagine it, a vessel so grand, so magnificent, the most impressive ship in the whole English fleet, belonged to Thomas Fitzstephen, his father. He was the captain of William the Conqueror's ship, during the invasion. A real family legacy.
Wow. So this wasn't just any ship. This was a symbol
Yeah.
of power, prestige.
Oh, yeah, all of that. And it was 1120, docked in Barfleur, France, ready to take Henry and his whole crew back to England. They just secured Normandy. There was this sense of, celebration, relief, optimism. After all the turmoil, it seemed like Henry's reign was finally safe, secure.
But we know fate had other plans. And the white ship, it was about to become the stage for something terrible, a tragedy that would echo through England, through history.
Let's get into it then, the events of that night. The night that turned hope into heartbreak.
Yeah, it's passengers, the atmosphere, that series of events. What led to this disaster?
So picture it. You're in Barfleur, on the docks, watching this grand party unfold. On the white ship, there's excitement in the air. And among the passengers, Henry's son and heir, William Adelin. A young man just on the verge of greatness.
Wow. So the future of the monarchy was right there, on that ship.
Right there. And not just him, you had the cream of the crop, all these young nobles, the best of the best, the next generation of leaders gathered to celebrate. And the royal treasury was on board too. Chests overflowing with gold, jewels, all heading back to England.
This is getting intense. Knowing what happened, it's hard to picture that, that joy,
That
optimism.
It's hard to imagine. But under the surface, a storm's brewing, youthful exuberance, a bit too much wine, and a captain who wanted to show off. A dangerous mix.
So you got this party, this celebration, but there's this sense of doom lurking beneath the surface. What was going on the white ship that night?
Well, Things got out of hand, let's just say that. The
Yeah.
wine was flowing, everyone's having a good time, you know. And the crew, well, even they joined in on the fun, forgot about their duties for a bit, threw caution to the wind.
The perils of overindulgence.
Mhm.
A tale as old as time, right?
Yeah, it really is. And this time, the consequences, they were about to be catastrophic. So at the helm of the White Ship, Thomas Fitzstephen, the proud owner, and he was eager to impress, boasted to the passengers, William Adelin was there, that he could overtake the king's ship, which had already left.
Hold on, the king's ship had already left.
Yep, already gone.
So this was a reckless proposition? Especially considering it was late, dark, the waters were treacherous.
All of that, a recipe for disaster, fueled by, well, pride, I guess, and maybe a bit too much wine.
Sadly, yeah. Sounds like it.
So Fitzstephen wants to prove himself, right? His seamanship. Maybe the party atmosphere got to him too, who knows? But he orders the crew full speed ahead, the White Ship. It was already full, passengers, treasure, all of it. And it just lurches forward into the darkness, a gilded cage racing towards its doom.
And this is where the submerged rock comes in, right? The one that sealed the White Ship's fate.
The keelboof, that's the one, just a short distance from the harbor. The White Ship, going way too fast, bam, it hits the rock. The impact, it was devastating.
The chaos, the terror, I can't even imagine, as the ship started to sink.
Pure pandemonium, water rushing in, the ship tilting, darkness, confusion, cries for help, people trying to escape, the realization that, well, that many wouldn't survive the night.
And amidst this chaos, we have Berold, the butcher, the lone survivor. What does he tell us about the horrors of that night?
Berold's account, it's a glimpse into the tragedy. He describes the struggle for survival, that scramble for the lifeboats, and the screams of those trapped below deck, swept away by the currents. He even saw William Adelin, the heir. He escaped the sinking ship, got into a small boat, but then he turned back, tried to rescue his half-sister.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. A moment of heroism, and it cost him his life.
A tragic irony. The lifeboat, it was too full. It capsized. Both William Adelin and his half-sister. Gone. Berold, he clung to a piece of wreckage, and he watched as the White Ship sank beneath the waves, taking with it the hopes of a nation and leaving behind a legacy of sorrow.
It's hard to grasp the scale of it. So many lives lost.
Yeah.
So much potential. Just gone. In one night, what happened next? How did England find out about the sinking?
Imagine King Henry, back in England, waiting for his son. Days pass. Weeks. Still no sign of the White Ship. Then the rumors start, whispers of a tragedy at sea, and finally the news reaches Henry's court. The nation is in mourning.
I can't even imagine his grief. Losing his son, his heir, in such a sudden, horrific way.
Devastated. Inconsolable, even. The chronicles, they describe him as just utterly heartbroken. Years of work, securing his reign, uniting England and Normandy, and now his hopes for a smooth succession gone. The future he'd planned, the dynasty he'd tried to build, all lost at the bottom of the English Channel.
So the White Ship, it wasn't just a personal tragedy for Henry. It was a political earthquake
Yeah,
with repercussions for all of England.
absolutely. William Adelin's death, it threw England into chaos, uncertainty. Henry had no clear heir. He had to make a choice, a difficult one, and it would have consequences. He declared his daughter, Matilda, as his successor.
Matilda.
Yeah, a controversial move. Many powerful nobles, they weren't happy. A female ruler, unthinkable to some.
So this sets the stage for more conflict, more power struggles.
Exactly, the seeds of civil war. England, it would be embroiled in years of turmoil, all because of this one event, one night of revelry, turned to tragedy.
It really shows you how fragile power is and how unpredictable history can be. But you mentioned before that the White Ship's legacy, it goes beyond politics,
Right.
that it's tied to something we might enjoy today. What did you mean by that?
Right. This is where the story takes a bit of an unexpected turn. It connects the White Ship disaster to, well, something completely different. Trappist beer.
Trappist beer. Now that's a connection I wouldn't have guessed. Tell me more.
Well, remember, William Adelin wasn't the only one who died on the White Ship. Matilda, the wife of Stephen, Count of Perche, she was on board too.
Right, the half-sister William Adelin tried to save. What a terrible loss for her husband.
Devastated, he decided to honor his wife's memory, established a monastery in Normandy, a place of peace, contemplation. Named it La Trappe.
So from tragedy, a place of peace, it's almost poetic, isn't it?
It is, and the story, well, it keeps going. Fast forward a few centuries, 17th century, La Trappe Abbey. It becomes the birthplace of this new monastic order. revitalized, you could say, the Trappists. And they were all about, well, a stricter way of life, austerity, manual labor, and brewing.
Brewing. Hold on. Is this the Trappist beer connection?
You got it. Self-sufficiency, hard work. The Trappist monks at La Trappe, they started brewing beer, and they were good at it.
So the White Ship, this tragedy, all because of, well, too much drinking. It leads to one of the most famous brewing traditions in the world. That's almost too ironic.
A real twist of fate. Those monks, they were searching for solace, purpose, in their monastic life, and they accidentally created this legacy that's still bringing joy to people centuries later. Beer lovers, anyway.
Yeah.
And to this day, Trappist beers, they're still brewed under strict rules. The International Trappist Association makes sure the quality is there, authenticity.
It's amazing how even the most tragic events, they can have these unexpected outcomes. Makes you think about, I don't know, all those hidden connections in history, the ripples from just one moment in time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The White Ship disaster, it's the perfect example. We've looked at the politics, the personal tragedies, and even, well, the beer. But there are these subtler ripples, too, consequences that we can only guess at.
Like what?
Well, think about the culture. Attitudes toward safety at sea. Did it change shipbuilding, or maybe just make people more aware of the dangers of, well, overindulging?
Yeah, you're right. It must have been a shock to society, made people face their own mortality, question how fragile life really is.
And the monarchy, the people. So many young nobles lost. The future of the realm, it must have shaken things up. Did it damage people's trust in the monarchy? Did it add to the unrest that led to civil war?
It's hard to know for sure. But it shows just how far-reaching this one event was. It wasn't just a shipwreck. It was a turning point for England, a moment that changed things for centuries.
History, it's not a straight line. It's more like, I don't know, a tapestry. All these threads, all connected, influencing each other.
Like a butterfly effect, right? One little event, it can cause a chain reaction with consequences we never see coming. And sometimes, even from the worst tragedies, something beautiful can happen.
That's the beauty of history, isn't it? It's full of surprises, twists and turns. And it always reminds us that we're all connected. Our lives, they're woven together with the lives of those who came before us.
Well, this deep dive, it's been, well, an eye-opener for me. The power struggles, that night of revelry, the tragedy, even the beer, the story of the White Ship, it really has it all.
It's been a pleasure exploring all this with you.
And to our listeners, we hope this deep dive has, well, made you curious, given you some things to think about. What other seemingly small events in history have had these big impacts on the world we live in? What other hidden connections are out there, just waiting to be discovered?
Keep exploring. Keep asking those questions. Keep diving deep. You never know what you might find.
And don't forget to subscribe to The Deep Dive for more stories that connect the past to the present. Until next time.